How's it going, guys? It's your boy Mike from Seattle, and I'm with my buddy Bidley again. He was on the channel about 4 months ago. He had reached out to me as a 16-year-old young man who wants to get started investing in real estate, wants to build a better financial future for himself. And so we had a live stream with him. I'll put the link for that down in the description below. And I had a live stream with him. And while we were chatting, we talked about what his goals were. And then I gave him some homework. So first thing, Bidley, go ahead and let everybody know what your goals are as a 16-year-old future real estate investor.
Well, I'm 17 now, but my goals were just to learn about real estate. And then once I'm old enough to buy, I'd buy myself. Those are my main goals.
Right. And so the reason you want to buy real estate is why?
To invest, to have money.
Okay, so you want to invest, you want to create passive
income.
Be
financially free.
Yeah, you're pushing towards financial freedom. And a lot of people would say, well, there's stocks, there's all these different options, and you've chosen real estate. You found my channel and reached out to me, which I really appreciate, and I think it's awesome. And so I was like, great, let's hope that we can start a series where we somehow get you to your first rental property, a house hack at some point in the future. So I gave you some homework. What were some of the things that I told you I wanted you to do?
Okay, so the first thing you told me to do was to go to the gym at least 4 times a week. I completed that. I haven't missed a day.
Oh man.
You told me to read a few books. Out of the few, I think I read One Run at a Time myself, the book somewhere around here.
Mm-hmm.
I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. You didn't recommend me to read this, but I read the 4 Hour Work. No, I read One Run at a Time, and I read audiobooks. I listened to audiobooks for Rich Dad Poor Dad and the 4 Hour Work Week.
Sure.
Those are
okay. So real quick, you read the book One Rental at a Time, which is by one of my friends who also has a YouTube channel, Michael Zuber. What did you learn in the book? What was the takeaway? What do you remember about it? Might have been a couple months, but what do you remember?
Oh, the main thing I really remembered is that you have to be versatile.
Okay, describe that to me.
He started off with single family houses, and then he saw where the market was going, and he decided he was going to change into apartments.
Right.
He learned about. I learned that you can't. No such thing. You never have alligators.
And what's an alligator?
An alligator is a property that's taking money from you. It's not giving you money.
Right. I will share this video with Zuber, who will probably be like, I'm so excited this young man read the book, and I'm sure he'll reach out to you in some way. But yeah, those are some of the core takeaways from his book, which are he was investing in single family homes. Then prior to the great financial crash in 07, 08, the market didn't make sense anymore. So he started transitioning to multifamily homes. He started selling his single families and buying apartment buildings. So you're right. He was versatile. He was smart. Another thing that he talked about big time in his book was no alligator properties, no negative cash flow properties. You don't want it. It's not a good strategy for investment. Those are some of the big takeaways. You said you also read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki?
I listened to it.
Sure. You listen to the audio, and that's fine. Yeah, I listen to audiobooks more than I read books too. What do you think the key takeaways were in that book?
Okay. There's such thing as good debt. I learned that in the book. He talks about how the difference between the rich dad and the poor. I should have brought notes, but I have it in my head. He talked about the difference between the rich dad's point of view and how he works for his money, and how the poor dad's, and how the rich dad's point of view is how his money works for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That really is the one sentence breakdown that would define that entire book, which is the rich don't work for their money works for them. Yeah. The poor work for their money by selling their hours for money, 1 hour at a time. And that's not how you become wealthy. That's not how you become financially free. And you have to do that mental mind shift. So, all right, I'll stop quizzing you and making you feel like you're being put on the spot. So I gave you the goal of going to the gym. You've been going to the gym 4 times. For those people out there, who might dismiss a goal like that, you really shouldn't. You really shouldn't. A strong body and a strong mind are linked. You will do more to fortify your mind by punishing yourself in the gym, by learning how to push yourself through pain, by creating goals for yourself, weightlifting goals, whether that be a personal record on a bench press or a squat or something like that. If you can learn to be disciplined enough to go to the gym day in and day out and then achieve something, that how you do one thing is how you do everything. It transpires to every part of your life. So tell us a little bit about the gym, man. You put on any weight? You increased any bench press records or anything like that?
Oh, so for the gym, I haven't gained much weight. I've gained like 10 pounds. But in terms of the lifts, I have my numbers in my head. I started off with a 165 squat as my max. Now I'm up to like 250.
Wow,
Bench
that's
press
good.
was around 135, maybe a little bit higher. Now my one rep max is 185.
Nice.
Deadlift is I never tested the maxes, but I take somewhere around 335, 340.
That's good. That's good. So for those of you out there who may not be gym connoisseurs like me and like my very studious young apprentice Bidley here, taking the number jump that he had is a little non-traditional. That's what we would call newbie gains. When you very first start to where you are 4, 5, 6 months later, you're going to make some big jumps. If I was able to go from, add 100 pounds to my squat where I'm at right now, 4 months from now, that would be unheard of for somebody who's been at the gym that long. But it's
Unless you take
still very,
steroids.
right. Obviously, we're not promoting that, but
Yeah.
that's very impressive. Those are good lifts, and yeah, stick with it. Keep going. Motivated people go to the gym. Disciplined people go to the gym. That's a great place to meet people, to make friends, to make goals and accomplishments. Okay, now I did give you a goal for saving up money. How much money did I want you to save up?
You wanted me to save up $125 per paycheck, and by February 1st, I should have had $600.
Okay, and did you achieve that goal?
Of February 1st having $600, yes, I did.
So what happened to the $600?
Okay, I made a few bad purchases. Um, Also, first thing I had $2,000 in stocks. I sold those. Well,
Okay.
it's a scenario I don't want to talk about.
It's something you
But
don't want to talk about?
no, not the stocks.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you don't
But
want to talk about it, you don't have
no,
to
the
talk about
money.
it.
I'm willing to talk about the money.
Sure.
I was an idiot and I just spent it. I
Mhm.
let go of all discipline and that was my fault. But yeah,
So I remember you messaging me because we were actually going to do our follow-up interview back in February and we had a bunch of technical difficulties.
yeah,
Like we couldn't get Zoom to work, and then I've been busy for a while. And now right now it's near the end of April. So you sent me screenshots of your bank account. You had the $600. I was like, oh, fantastic, awesome.
yeah.
And then at some point, I don't know what you spent. I mean, what did you do? Just go out with your friends, hang out, buy clothes? Was it a girl, bro?
No, it wasn't a girl. Trust me,
Those are the hardest ones to say no to. But what'd you
it
spend it
wasn't a
on?
girl. Shoes, some clothes. I didn't go out and make any big purchases.
Right,
It was just like they also come out to Taco Bell, so I was spending more than I was saving, which is dumb.
right.
I'm aware.
So there's nothing to be ashamed of, all right? A lot of people struggle with this exact same phenomenon in their 20s, 30s, 40s to the day they die. People cannot control their spending. They can't be disciplined enough to spend less than what they make. Every time they get a raise, great, I got a 10% raise. Now it's time to inflate my lifestyle, get a 10% nicer car, 10% nicer house, 10% nicer clothes. It's a very common problem that we have with folks in our country. It's just the culture of our country. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. You're aware of it. My question for you is, okay, you're still working, right? You still have a job,
Yes,
and is it still at Taco Bell?
yes, but management is like there's I'm not getting enough hours to cut it. I'm already a minor, so they're not gonna give me a lot of the hours. So I
Okay.
have to get a new job.
Okay. Okay. So have you what steps have you taken towards getting a different or better job?
Oh, I've been on Indeed a lot. I went to an interview about 2 days ago. They haven't gotten back to me, probably because I'm a teenager, but
Right. Okay. Okay. So sounds like to me that the short-term goal is, or one of the problems is, you don't have enough hours to bring in enough money so that you can save some, and you do still want to spend some money because you want to hang out with your friends. You got a gym membership, things like that, right?
yeah.
So you need to get a job that will pay you enough in a month period. So what do you think? What was our goal? How much do we want you to save paycheck? 125. So that was what, $250 a month?
Yes, no. Yeah, but I was going a little bit over.
Well, there's nothing wrong with saving more than you need. I'm not going
Yeah.
to punish you for that. Um, but if you want to save $250 a month, how much money do you need to make each month? Because you do want to spend some. What are you spending? Three, four, 500, saving 250?
Each paycheck. I should have done the math. I should have done notes.
It's all good.
But the
This is one of the reasons why it's good to write things down. It's good to
yeah,
write things down because what is measured can be improved on. So if you have a goal of saving $125 a paycheck, which is like every 2 weeks, and saving essentially 250 bucks a month, okay, I got to save 250 a month. Well, what do you want to spend each month to hang out with your friends, your boys? Okay, I want to spend 250 bucks a month hanging out with my friends, and I want to save 250. All right, that means you got to bring 500 bucks in a month after taxes. So you probably got to bring in like 750 a month so that when the taxes come out, you got 500 left so that you can save 250 and spend 250. So you got to find a job that will allow you to make, again, write your own numbers down, but you got to find a job that'll allow you to make 750 to $1,000 a month, give you enough hours for that. And it sounds like Taco Bell, they're just can you only work like 20 hours a week or something?
the maximum amount of hours that a minor can work in Florida is 30.
A
But
week?
no, yeah, 30 hours a week.
Okay.
But the company is having issues and they cut everybody's hours. So right now I'm working 8, 10 hours a week. So it's really nothing.
Okay. So at the end of the week, if the end of the month, if you're only doing 8 hours a week, that's only 32 hours a month. What do you make per hour?
1350.
Okay, yeah. So 1350 times eight. That's only 108 hours a shift, or excuse me, a week. Multiply that by four. That's only like 432 bucks. And then after taxes, yeah, you don't have much, you don't have
Yeah.
enough money coming in to be able to save. So if you're applying for other places, it sounds to me like you just need to find a place that will give you more hours. And that wasn't the problem, but it is now a problem.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. So then, moving forward, we got to find a job that'll at least let you work because you've got to be working to make some money. You're going to the gym. We're going to keep that up. What other books? Oh, I did ask you to listen to some YouTube channels or some things like that. Did you
Oh,
follow up with any of those?
yes. If I'm being honest, the person that I listen to the most is Dion.
Oh, dude, Dion's a good dude.
I could show you my YouTube and it just full of red bars of Dion's today's TED talks. Not
Nice.
talks, but yeah.
His Dion talks.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a police officer like me. He lives here locally like I do. We hang out all the time. We just took a trip to Gary, Indiana together a couple weeks ago. Now he's in Portugal flexing on all of us broke boys while he gallivants around the countryside. But he's a good dude. What did you like about his message? Do you remember anything in particular?
Um I can break you down to his story if you
Sure.
basically he was a single parent raising 3 kids and in 10 years he achieved financial freedom.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't want to he didn't want to declare bankruptcy because that was a career killer as a cop.
Hmm.
So he left and he got a job as a truck driver or something of that sort. The
Hmm.
company went on strike and he got another job teaching at the CDL school. He worked there, became the president, and then he whilst he was investing into rental properties, he had the ability to work became optional.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then he quit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's his story. So, right now, one of the reasons I want you to read books and listen to YouTube channels is because, and I think we might have talked about this last time. You're a high school kid. You're probably hanging out with other high school kids. You guys have all similar interests. You go to the gym, you hang out, you goof off, whatever kids do nowadays. I'm old. Don't remind me. Uh, but in order to in order to push yourself, you need to get more people in your network who have similar goals to you. But it's tough. It's tough to find other 16, 17, 18-year-old kids who want to become real estate millionaires and have, financial freedom. And so it's good to be able to go online and listen to stories from people who have the same goals as you. But it's still not quite the same as getting people in your network. So have you looked into any local real estate meetups in Florida?
Um, I did take your advice and I looked on Facebook for the groups. But if I'm being honest, there's two things I noticed. One is that the groups are not very active, and
Mm,
and when they are active, it's people trying to sell you stuff.
right.
So
Yep. So, and that type of stuff happens, unfortunately. We have a great financial independence, retire early group here in the Seattle area that Dion actually is the host of, and he and I and some other local people, we kind of organize it. It can be tough. It can be tough to find one. I would say keep looking. If you're not finding it on Facebook, go to Google. See if you can, because there will be local financial real estate investing meetup groups. There's going to be those groups. It's just about finding them. And yes, avoid the scams of people just trying to sell you stuff. You should be able to find one that's free and people can just meet up and join. It might take a while to find it, but I would definitely say keep looking because you want to be around. You want to actually physically be around and listen to the stories of the local people in your market who are doing it. Because at some point you're going to house hack, and that's only going to be done in Florida. I can't be like, yeah, you can house hack at a distance. It's impossible. You have to
yeah,
live where you're house hacking. Um, okay, good. What questions do you have for me?
if I'm being honest, not much. I've done a lot of research, although I wasn't it and I spent my money, but I've always kept up with the YouTube videos and reading.
Mm, good, good. Well, okay, so you're disciplined in that regard. And in terms of the money, we've just got to figure out how to make more so you can start saving again. And that's on you. You're the one who's going to have to figure out how to
Yeah,
get the job and make more money. What is a realistic goal? We want to get to the point where you have $1,000 in the bank. How long should it take you to make 1,000 saved in the bank? 3 months, 4 months? What do you think?
the sooner I get a new job, I could say maybe 2 months.
Okay. Okay. So how long is it going to take you to get a new job?
I'd say 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay. All right. So then I'm going to give you 4 months. It's April right now. So by the end of August, let's talk about September 1st. By September 1st, I
Oh,
want $1,000 in your bank account. If there's $1,000 in your bank account, I will Venmo you $100 on the spot. Okay, go ahead. You're going to say something?
yeah, I think we should increase that goal.
Oh, more than 1,000?
Yes, because in the summer I'm gonna be working overtime, 70, 80 hours a week.
Okay, well, good. Okay, so then, all right. Tell you what. In 1 month, I want to hear that you've gotten a new job. Within 1 month, I want to hear you've gotten a new job. And then by September, the end of summer, what should our goal be? You should have 2,000 bucks,
2,500.
2,500. Okay, good. Setting a lofty goal. So by September 1st, when we do a follow-up video, you'll obviously have had a new job. You'll have $2,500 in the bank. If you have $2,500 in the bank, I'll Venmo you $100 on the spot. I had someone else who watches our channel tell me last time that whatever I Venmoed you, they were going
Yeah,
to double it. But you've got to get to that goal. I don't know if they're going to keep that offer if you don't make that goal. So, anybody who watches this, if you want to participate, at least with some kind words, leave a comment for Bidley down below. It's at the end of the day, as much as people say, "Oh yeah, you can invest in real estate without any money," you can. You can do things like wholesale. You can do that type of stuff. It is very hard to invest in real estate without any money. You can do it with a little bit of money, like a few $1,000. You could get into your first property. You could maybe start wholesaling with just a little bit. But I think really, given the fact that you're 17, you probably won't be able to actually qualify for a loan until you're at least 19. And that's if you keep the same job between right now and when you apply for a loan. You have to have 2 years of work history. Or at least 2 years in the same field. So like if you switched from McDonald's to Taco Bell to Dairy Queen, like that's all the food industry.
yeah,
So I think that lenders wouldn't have a problem with that. But you're going to have to save up a down payment. Now, the nice thing is, and I don't know how much you research when you're listening to like Dion, you can get into a house with 3 to 5% down. So for every $100,000 the house costs, you got to come up with 3 to 5 grand, which means that in the next 2 years, we can every few months save a few $1,000s. 2 years from now, we should easily have 15 grand. And then come, your 19th birthday, whenever you got that 2 years of work history and you're an adult, you go in and qualify for that loan. We can start shopping for your house hack. And we'll start talking about analyzing deals and things like that as we get closer. But that sounds like a good plan to me. What do you think?
yeah, I agree.
Okay. All
And I
right, man.
think um once I turn 18, I have family members that are working in higher paying fields, so I'm definitely gonna get there quickly.
Good. Good. Yeah. And I hope you do. Even if even if we get you to a point where you don't use traditional loans, because, you know, they require 2 years of work history, you know, we could always go the route of maybe finding you a seller finance deal, something like that. So you'll still need the money, but you wouldn't need the time. So if you can get that money saved quicker, doors open up for you. There's things that happen. Yeah, man, if you don't have any other questions for me, I think this is a good check-in video. We know what our goals are. We're going to continue going to the gym, reading books, researching, all that type of stuff. If you have questions, reach out to me. And hey, man, I appreciate you being on the channel. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mike.